Okay, I'm keeping it.
I can resist. Sorry, people. That's how we do.
I'm keeping it.
Sisterly love.
Okay. Welcome to Tea and Talk, everybody. Okay, welcome to Tea and Talk, everybody. I'm going to share my tea message. And it is, I like it. This one's cool. It's the beauty of the soul is constant, continuous, and endless.
Ooh, I like
Nice,
that.
huh?
I like that.
And tonight I have Evangelist Lisa. She is my beautiful friend. And she is an ordained evangelist. She's been married for 27 years. Wow. To Brother Rod Rudolph, Sr.
Yep.
And was born and raised in Utah. What's SLC?
Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Mm-hmm.
She's attended church her whole life.
Yes.
And was baptized at the age of 14 and received my prayer language at 15. What's prayer language?
Speaking in tongues.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Speaking in tongues.
Nice. I've heard you do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then so she was empowered by the Holy Spirit, too shy to start moving into her gift until 2005 of singing and prophetic dreams. Nice. And she has an incredible ability to connect and communicate with everyone.
As you see. As proven. That's funny.
Awesome. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about how she became an evangelist and just kind of share her story with that. Okay.
Okay.
And first of all, tell people what an evangelist is, because I didn't know until I started attending True Faith Worship Ministries. So.
Okay. Well, an evangelist is a person who goes out and seeks other people to come into Christianity and to teach them the Christianity and teach them the ways of the Lord. And, basically I'm a go out. I guess let's make it easier. A go-getter.
Okay.
A go-getter.
And that's why you're such a good communicator and talk to people.
Mm-hmm. And, I'm pretty much speaking, I'm, speaking in public and, preaching God's word, and things like that, Some evangelists preach, some don't.
Okay. So how did you become an evangelist?
My pastor.
Pastor Loggins?
Pastor William Loggins of True Faith Worship Ministries. He, I've known him for years, known him for a very long time. And he's always seen in me the, evangelism in me, to go out and because I'm always evangelizing to everybody, no matter where I go, girl. I'm in the store, in the mall. I told y'all the story about in the mall, and Marie was like, "That's why you're an evangelist, because you're always talking to people, So I've always, no matter where I was doing it today at the studio, at the Daily Blast Live studio. I was inviting people to church and giving out cards. Yes, I did. And so that's pretty much what I do, and I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
Mm-hmm.
Very much. So why did you become an evangelist?
I became an evangelist. First, let me give you the date. I became an evangelist on March 17th of 2019.
Okay. And
I was ordained by Pastor William Loggins, again, of True Faith Worship Ministries. And
it's still
and
going
I pretty much once you ordained me, Well, then I became an evangelist. But, for my personal reasons, because I've always been one who goes out and I share the news. I share the good news of the Lord. I talk to, I bring tons of people to church with me. I'm always inviting somebody. And even if they don't show up, I will invite, at least in 1 week, I will invite at least maybe 15 people, in just one, and that's probably in just a couple of days. I would say not even a whole week, but I'm consistently, everywhere I go. If I'm at the store, I'm inviting somebody to church. If I'm on Facebook and I'm inviting somebody to church, or I'm in, with my husband, when he knows when I get it going and I'm talking about the Lord, he's like, I'll meet you in the car, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? So he'll go in the car. He knows my routine because, it's not really routine. I guess it's just something routine for me because I'm used to doing it.
He knows you're going to do it.
Yes, he knows no matter. Yes, exactly. So that's pretty much, I had the gift already. I've already had the gift of gab my whole life. So I've always been a talker and a people person, and I could, talk to people and we'll be like, hey, we should do this, and then it doesn't just stay a thought, it goes into action. Right. And so as I grew into an adult and, I would still do things like that, but for church. And so I never had the title of an evangelist or did anything, and I didn't want to even become an evangelist because I did the accountability. I just felt like, man.
To become an evangelist, do you have to go to some school, or what do you have to study to be that, to get your title?
Well, honestly, I would say all churches are different. Okay. So I don't know what the protocol is in other churches, so I wouldn't, that. But yes, I have been to leadership classes. I've attended not only leadership classes, I've attended new converts classes. I've attended membership classes. I've done quite a bit over the years in my walk. So I've done a lot. I've learned a lot. I've had to do a lot of testing and, because I always say this, if you're going to be up there doing something for the Lord and trying to tell somebody something about the Lord, you need to know what you're talking about.
Right. And because you know the Bible pretty well. And so I was just wondering if that was one of your requirements. Did you have to know the Bible?
Oh, yeah. You got to know. Definitely got to know the Bible because you can't teach somebody something you don't know.
Right.
They're going to be like, where'd you get that from? It's going to be like Medea. When she was trying to teach the kids about, he was like, yeah, and Noah had to do this, It's just like.
She tells these weird stories that
yes, and
they're kind of in the direction of what's in there.
And then it changes. Yeah, so I don't want to do the Medea syndrome. I want to know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, you definitely need to know something. Well, not something, a lot about the Lord. And you need to know the direction you're going in your walk.
Okay, nice. What is your most valuable life lesson that you have learned and or a life experience?
Wow. It's been so many, believe it or not, because my life has been surrounded.
You don't get to our age and not have many, huh?
Yeah, at all. So, but yeah, my life has been surrounded with nothing but church. You know what I'm saying? From the time I was born to the time I was now. You know what I'm saying? So church has always been a very important part of my life. And I've learned along the way, sometimes the hard way, sometimes the hard way, because, because I wasn't always saved in church, my whole life. I was in church my whole life, but I wasn't working in the ministry, the way I am now. But yeah, I've learned so many life lessons and things like that. One of my most prized lesson is trusting God. And I mean, when you trust God, you have to learn to trust Him totally. You know what I mean? Right. So a lot of times people will say, I trust God, but they're just saying, I trust God.
Right.
There's a difference in saying it and doing it and believing it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn over the years to trust God with everything in me. You know, even when things didn't seem like they were changing, and it seemed like things were getting worse, because sometimes that's been the case scenario, you know what I'm saying? And it seemed like when things were getting worse and worse, and were so bad where all I could do is just, you know how you do sometimes, and all you can do is cry. Right. I can't even pray no more. I can't even,
You're like, God, I know you hear me.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, why don't you do something? Yeah. I am one of your people, you know what I'm saying? I am faithful. You know, and that's the way we tend to do sometimes, you know what I mean? Which is not the attitude that we need to have. But sometimes God allows us to go through some things, and that's what people don't understand, is sometimes you're being allowed to go through those things to see if you're going to get through those things. You know what I'm saying? Because once you go from one end to the other, then you learn something first off. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes his answer is no.
And that's exactly it. And, you know, and he also wants to see if you're going to call on him, if you're going to believe him, because we tend to say we do, and then we get down in that skillet, and we jump into the fire. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a difficult thing, you know, for some people to say that they trust the Lord, but I completely trust him, you know what I mean? And I learned that along the way for years and years and years of my life, you know, being in church. You know, for instance, if you don't mind if I say real quick, there was a couple of situations. One time, you know, we were young, when I was really young at this time. I was probably about 23. I was 23. And it was right after my brothers. I lost my brothers, you know, to some gun violence. And when we were staying with some people, and I had 4 children at the time, you know, we had to stay there for, you know, a while. But the whole time I'm praying, Lord, we need our own place. You know what I'm saying? Because you can only live with people for so long, right? You know, so I'm like, Lord, we need our own place. I have my 4 babies here. I'm trusting you. I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know what we're going to do. And I left it there. I trust you, Lord. And I just prayed, Lord, I trust you. You know what I'm saying? Because like the word says, pray without ceasing. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I did. And Sister Tammy, I kid you not, you can ask my husband. It's been my testimony. I've given that testimony many years. I was looking in the newspaper, because back then we had newspapers. Now we don't. We have the phones. But I was looking in the newspaper. This is way back in like 1994. And I was looking in the newspaper, and I'm like, all these places, and it was either they were too much, you know, or, you know, but I still trusted God. I'm like, Lord, I just trust you. So I got an ad. And the ad at that time was for a low-income apartment, which is what I needed, because I was only working part-time, and it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? So I called this place, and the lady, I told her, I let her know, you know, we talked, and she said for me to come in. I did. She gave me the place. So I was like, ooh, Lord, thank you. And then she said, well, how did you find out about the unit? And I said, it was in the newspaper. And she said, well, I never put anything in the newspaper, and I'm the one who runs all the ads. And it said Olive Street Apartments. And I said, no, it's in the newspaper. I have the newspaper right here. And she was like, can you bring the newspaper in? Suddenly the newspaper was gone. Couldn't find the ad.
No explanation.
She had no explanation for it. But the Lord led me there. I know it was nobody but God, because he led me right there. She didn't put in an ad. I got that place. And not only that, when God does something, he does it all the way through. He doesn't do it 50% through. Not only that, she was like, you can move in here, she said, because we had to be gone within the next couple of days. And it's not very often people tell you can move in that quick. She said, you can come in, you can move in by Friday. By Friday, I had all my things in the place where we were staying, and they were actually moving too. So we weren't going to be able to go with them anyway. We could have, but, you know, we didn't want to. Yeah. So we had all of our things in their garage. Now, let me tell you how the power of God is and the power of trust in Him. You see, not only did we get our place, and it was the low income that I needed, and I was only working part-time, and He brought me to a place that nobody else seen but me, and nobody else put it in the ad but Him. A cousin came over of my husband's. He sees everything going on. We're like, I don't know how we're going to move this up. I'll rent you a truck. He rented the truck for us. Not only did he rent us the truck, he helped us move all them things in. Girl, so you can't tell me how God won't move. And when He does it, He makes it all line up like ducks. So there's nothing, and nobody can tell me my God can't be trusted.
Right, and sometimes it's just divine timing, giving Him time to line up all that stuff.
Yes. I mean, it took some months, for us to be able to get where we were going. But you know what? By His grace and His mercy, He lined it up. He knew what we needed at the time. And that's exactly what He gave us. Exactly.
And you probably felt very blessed in that moment.
Oh, I did. I testified about it to so many people for so many years, when people, they feel so discouraged sometimes. And I just go, you know what? If He done it for me, and He did it for Moses, and He did it for so many more, He'll do it for you.
Sometimes I think people don't really see how He's working in their life.
And that's why they get impatient. Because they want to know, they want it done right now. Like Pastor always says, that microwave, that microwave time, and put it in there, 2 seconds, your popcorn's done. No, it doesn't work that way with Him sometimes. Sometimes, hey, He can.
Yeah.
But whatever His will is.
Right. And I think it's how much you're actually opened up to receiving. And because sometimes we receive and we don't really even know that we are receiving. Because people aren't really paying attention to how much He really is working in their life. And I mean, I'm talking from experience, because that has happened to me. Where now I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that was going on.
Until after it's done. And then you go, thank you, Lord. I see this now. I get it. I get that move right there.
Because I've been doing that the last couple of days, is looking it back, and I've seen how He has strategically placed people in my life at exactly the moment that they, like your brother-in-law, at exactly the moment they were meant to be there.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I think that's exactly how we met today, and we're friends today. You know what I'm saying? Because that was divine. It was God's divine work. And He's just so amazing, and the things He does.
And I think when I was looking for a church, I was getting impatient, because I was like, okay, I can't go to the Mormon church anymore. I need somewhere to go, and it just took a while for Him to line that up.
It does. It's like that J.G. Winners, I need not this money, I need it now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? I want my church, and I want it now, Lord.
Where are you going to send me? Come on now.
Then we go to tell Him, but I don't want. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, the Mormon church. Well, He did send me there, and He sent me there for a reason. Yeah. I had those 2 blessings that were given to me by a priesthood holder, the same priesthood holder, and they were powerful blessings. And I am almost positive that as I was getting that blessing, because they put their hands on your head when they're giving a blessing, I could feel the warmth from His hands just coming down my body.
Oh, wow.
While He was giving me that blessing. And it brought comfort. And I am almost positive that the words that I can't even remember them right now, but I remember thinking, oh my gosh, He's probably thinking, where is this coming from? Because the words that were coming from Him were things that I needed to hear. Oh, wow. And I don't think that He understood where they were coming from.
God will use who He needs to use.
So those 2 blessings were very powerful, but it just wasn't the church that I was meant to worship in.
And that's it. And, and that's something you feel in your spirit, too. And
I felt like I was trying to shove myself into this box.
And that just wasn't fitting.
No. It wasn't. And then when I went to True Faith Worship Ministries, I felt like open, like I could receive what I needed to receive.
And it was so amazing because the first day you came and we were doing the Bible study and you just chimed right on in and jumped in. It was like when you came, it's like you've been knowing us for 20 years, and that's that love connection that I love that our church has. You know what I mean? When people are coming in fresh, or they're coming in new, or they come and visit, they love
feel at home,
and they tend to
feel the spirit. The spirit is very strong.
Yes.
There's been some Sundays when it's been very strong. It's overwhelming a little bit.
Yes.
Everybody's crying.
Everybody's crying and praying. Yes, that is so true. Like not too long ago.
Yes.
Yes. God is He's doing a great thing, I can truly say, at True Faith Worship Ministries, and He's using Pastor Loggins and the rest of each and every one of us in our own spaces and places in the church. Like the word says, we're all part of God's body. You know what I'm saying? And each and every one of us are utilizing that. Yes. And I just thank God because Pastor Loggins avails us to be able to be utilized like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like he says, he's not his traditional pastor.
Yes.
That's what makes it unique. And that's why I felt comfortable going there too.
Yeah. And another thing, Sister Tammy, I heard on the radio today, the man was saying, he's like, when there's a church and it's full of men, he said, then there's power there. And he said, because you don't see a lot of men in churches, and we have a lot of men in our churches, and their men are not just sitting there not doing anything. They're preparing, you know what I'm saying, and I just know that God is going to be using each different one for each and every different area, you know what I'm saying, because they're all now trying to be used, you know what I'm saying, with breakdown and media and greeters, and I thank God for our men. I love them.
We have some special children too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They're so sweet. And they're always getting their prayers.
They do every Sunday. And that's a blessing because you know what? That is showing leadership among children. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't see a lot of children getting up and doing that. Them children will get up there before the adults will get up there. You know what I'm saying? And that speaks measures of what they think about the people who are praying, what they think about the Lord, and they know already how to get a problem solved, okay?
Yes.
And how to get a prayer through, and I just thank God for that because a lot of children their age
don't have that.
They don't. And if baby Sebastian, he's one. In a minute, he's going to be coming up there because Trini is 3. I think she's 3, or she'll be 3. And she is 3. She comes up there on Sundays, so I'm
it always amazes me. I see them go up there and they want their prayer.
Specific prayers.
They say what they want.
They say what they want. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And that is just, that alone speaks measures to me because that means they're being taught.
Yes.
They're being fed. You know what I'm saying? And now with their Sunday school classes going on.
Is that where they were Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, their Sunday school classes going on. It's amazing, and they know so much. They do. Now we just have to teach them, how to utilize what they know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started going there, because I was raised in the Mormon church, because the Mormon church is like really reverent and you barely whisper.
Oh yeah,
when
I've been there. I've been to a Mormon church before, Salt Lake City.
Exactly, they're on every corner there. So
yes,
every
they
6
are.
blocks.
I've been in the temples. I've been in West Jordan Temple. I've been in the temple
was,
in the downtown too.
I've been to those too. My family was sealed. And my parents were married in the Manti Temple.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's another story. But I was going to say that, probably my 3rd week of going to True Faith Worship Ministries, I felt like, just through the music alone and the singing, I felt like a shell was just like cracking and falling off of me. That was just holding me down. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know how to explain it. I just remember you singing, and I don't even remember what song it was, but I just felt like the shell was just like
being broken, like the little baby dinosaurs, how they come out the shells. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it felt like.
Yes, and that's such a blessing. That is.
It is, and it was a blessing because I remember just feeling like my spirit had just lifted.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, it was a very moving Sunday for me.
Love it.
Let's see. What would you like your legacy to be, or how do you want to be out in the world?
I would like, if I had to say, to have a legacy of some sort, would be that my grandchildren, my children, my family members, that they all continue on what I do. You know what I'm saying? And they already believe what I believe.
And they're already praying, so they're already learning from you.
And they're learning, you know what I'm saying? I each one of my grandkids, not one of my grandkids have I not brought to church. And I bring them all. They're all involved in singing and praise dancing and just everything, anything that's involved in the church.
Dancing.
Yes. Anything that's, like when we had the friends and family service, remember Samantha and all the kids, they did the praise, and Marche and Jakari and all them. Man, and to see the children dance and to see them carrying on was funny, is because I was their age and I was afraid to do it. I was too shy. I didn't break out of my shell. Believe it or not, I didn't even start singing until 2000. I did sing, but I didn't start doing solos and really, really singing until 2005, like I was telling you. Okay. And the Lord always showed me dreams, but I didn't really
pay attention.
I did. I paid attention, but I didn't know how to go and tell the person, okay, well, the Lord told me this, the Lord told me that, until I started to take up classes and I started to learn that, hey, this is what you need to get busy. If the Lord is telling you to do something, then you do it. If he's telling you to tell somebody something, then you do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be held accountable for something that I was supposed to give to somebody and I didn't do it. Right. So I want my grandchildren and my children to continue what they're doing now, because I know this is going to be much more greater things as they get older. So that would be the legacy that I would want. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
It's a nice legacy. Nice legacy. Do you have a favorite scripture that you would like to share?
You know what? I don't.
You don't?
I don't. It's so crazy. And I was going to try to find a scripture, and I was like, you don't
want to make it your favorite?
I don't want to make it my favorite, because you know what? All the scriptures are so applicable to each and every one of us in our life. You know what I mean? They should, not only that, it's not that I don't have a favorite. I have so many I like, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so many that I hear them over and over again, and I hear so many people say, well, this is my favorite scripture. And, you know what I'm saying? I just never really just stopped to pick just one. Right. I've always just, everything I read, I take it to complete heart. Everything I'm learning, I take it so deep and I try to root it so deep in my heart. You know what I'm saying? And so I never really did
have a specific.
I didn't. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry about that. My favorite is. It's in Psalms. I think it's 32. But it's God prepares a table before me in the face of my enemies.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And I always remember that when I am, like tonight, when I'm nervous or when I'm worried that something's going to go wrong, I'm like, nope, God's already prepared this table. All I got to do is show up.
He's like, I got you. I got you.
That's my favorite.
Step on up, because I got you.
This has already been anointed.
It's already there. Don't you see it? You don't see it? Spiritualize.
Okay, says, would you be willing to sing a song? So I asked you if you would sing a song because at church you are the main worshiper. I mean, there's Sister Nicole and First Lady Loggins who also sings. But so since you're on here, I wanted you to sing.
Okay. I sing that, Waymaker was on there, but I didn't. I've got my favorite.
It's okay.
My absolute favorite. And I even sang it during my ordination. And it's this one I don't know. I just really grew. It grew on me. Is the I'll just say yes, because that's been what's, by Brian Courtney Wilson. Give shout out to the man who wrote it. And it's I'll just say yes. And the song is about saying yes to the Lord in all things. You know what I mean? And everything, even when you are going through the hard times, you're still gonna say yes. You know what I mean? And me, I was fighting being an evangelist. Not really fighting it. I just wasn't ready for the accountability, but I was already doing evangelist work. I was already working in that field and in that position, and after talking to pastor, and he was like, look, Sister Lisa, this one, you know what I'm saying? Talked about so much stuff, I just really can't even remember it all, but he was like, you're already doing it. So you know what? I said, I'll do it. I just said yes, and here I am.
Okay. And you said yes to singing.
And I said yes to singing. I did.
My cat's probably going to run out of here. He hates when I sing.
Does he?
Did it connect to? Oh, there we go.
This is one of my favorites because it's what's in my spirit. It's what I'm built on, for the Lord. I just love Him. I'll just say yes. You lead the way. I'm not afraid of what it means to say. But this life you gave is not my own. I'm trusting you to hear my yes and lead me on. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. My life is yours. I'll just say yes. Yes to your way. I'm not afraid of what it means to say that this life you gave is not my own. I'm trusting you to hear my yes and lead me on. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. My life is yours. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. My life is yours. And there is peace when I say yes. I might not feel it now, but you said the best for all who trust you and obey. There is an answer, no more delay. I'll just say yes. Yes. That's one of my favorite songs. I didn't want to hit the notes. Your son would probably be like, who's in there doing all that noise? So I didn't hit all my notes.
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome.
I love listening to you sing.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you have anything else you wanted to share? Or?
No, I just, I enjoyed being here and sitting and talking, and anything that has to do with the Lord and talking about the Lord. I love to talk about the Lord. I guess that's a true evangelist. I guess that's what Marie tells me all the time from the church. She always said, come out the bathroom, I'm just out loud again, just talking to the lady. I mean, girl, we was in a good conversation. I'm like, yeah. And Marie was like, look at her. Look at her. That's why she's an evangelist. I laughed so hard, but you know what? That was a great compliment. You know, that was so complimenting to me. It moved my spirit, you know, and I was just like, wow, thank you. You know what I mean? Because I try my best, you know, to get out there, and I'm spreading God's word. I don't care to who, when, on the bus, in the car, just wherever. So I just, you know, say I just value who God is. And hey, kitty cat. I value who God is, and I value everything He's done for me in my life and in the life of my children, and I'm just, you know, excited to see what's next.
Well, thank you for coming and doing this with me.
Enjoyed
it. It was fun. Thank you.
It was fun.
And we invite everybody out to church on Sunday. I don't remember the address. Do you remember the address?
Yeah. It's True Faith Worship Ministries, 10955 East Exposition Avenue, Aurora, Colorado, 80012. We're inside the Expo Park Recreation Center. Please come. Be there, be square, baby.
And you can hear her sing.
Yeah.
And receive Pastor Logan's word.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And I love you guys. Bye. I knew you were going to